Hello and welcome to Academic Resolutions, a study tip video from spring 2024 presented by CNMS Advising. You can find all of our study tip videos in our Study Tips Spring 2024 YouTube playlist. So let's get started. All right, it's the first week of the semester, at least if you're watching this in the week that we put this video online. If you're watching it later, it might not be the first week of the semester anymore, but that's okay. This still applies to you. So we all have goals for the semester. So this is a little video on just like kind of how we can stick to them because, the kind of age old tradition of setting New Year's resolutions and then they're done by February. We're going to try and help you come up with some methods for actually sticking to these things all semester. So think about some of your goals right now. And we have an accompanying handout for this workshop that you can find in the description box. It's a Google Doc. So you can't edit that handout directly in Google Drive because we own it. CNMS Advising owns that Google Doc, but you can either make a copy into your own Google Drive, or you can download it, or you can print it out and just write directly on the handout. But I would encourage you to follow along right now. So, pause the video if you want right now, and then you can download the handout and take a minute to just kind of fill out the first bit of, please write down your goals, just because it's important to remind yourself of what they are sometimes. Okay, so action steps. This is the first big tip we have for you. So there's an age old saying, small strokes fell mighty oaks. And so this is just kind of a way of thinking about your goals in the idea that it's not like one big thing that's going to happen. It's the goals are met by a series of tiny little actions. And so one really helpful tip is that we actually start breaking our goals down into, from big goals into medium-sized goals, and from there into smaller goals, and from those smaller goals into literally just like small everyday things that you can do that help you to get, all the way from the action steps all the way back to up to the super high level goal. Like maybe it's get all A's this semester. That involves a lot of medium-sized goals. It means getting an A in every class, and then you need to break the, syllabus down for each class and check to see like what assignments are worth the most, and what's the homework policy and things like that. And so that's what I mean by action steps. So I actually want you to come up with a few everyday actions that you can do towards each goal. And an example is like, I'll do 10 minutes of chem practice problems every morning. Maybe that's because my goal is to pass my second attempt of Chem 101. And so one of the things I really need to make sure I do is extra problems all the time because practice is the most important thing. All right, so the next thing is to track your progress. It's really helpful in creating motivation. Even just in and of itself, tracking the progress. You don't even need to reward yourself in any other way. Although I would also recommend coming up with a small reward for yourself for doing the habits every day, because that will really kind of help it sink in and make you excited to kind of get things done. So use for tracking your progress, you can use paper. We also have in the description box a link to Google Drive document of a semester calendar where you get 2 months on each page, front and back. You can also pick one up in UC 1 or UC 205A or UC 115 if you come to study hall. And that can be used as a paper calendar to track your progress. You can also use a visual aid like paper clips in a jar. So maybe you've got a bunch of paper clips and you've got a jar on your desk, and every time you do 10 minutes of chem practice problems, you put a paper clip in the jar, and you see every day it's going to grow slowly, but your pile of paper clips in the jar is going to grow, and you're going to be able to like see your progress in that way, which is really motivating. Or you can use an app, and we also have some apps that you can check out in the description box. We have Habitica, which is kind of a video game, situation. We have TickTick, which is really good for Android users and allows you to kind of customize the way your calendar looks. We have Habit Tracker, which is great for iOS and can just remind you to do stuff without having you go into the app and actually say you did it. And then we have Streaks, which is a super like graphic way to track, how many days in a row have you done something, basically. And if you've ever used like Snapchat or Duolingo, you probably know this, but you'll be surprised at how much you want to keep the streak going. Just in and of itself, like, oh, I want to do that this morning because it gives you a little dopamine hit just having done the habit. And so then the last tip we have is to create some accountability. It helps to work with others whether you're actually working with them or they're just around you. So form a study group or an accountability group of people to kind of go do work together. or just go to the library where there are other people around you doing work and being quiet, that can help too. You can also set up an accountability system with a friend. So have them text you to check in, like, did you do your 10 minutes of chem practice problems today? And then you can do the same for them. Like, you can ask them if they've done this habit or something today. So accountability really helps. It's why people run on teams, for instance, if they're training, or why it's just easier to do one more if you're with other people and they're also doing one more, whatever that's, a problem or a mile or a, whatever it is that you're trying to accomplish, a habit you're trying to build. So accountability is really helpful. All right, we'll see you next week. If you want more content on this specific topic, we host a workshop every Wednesday on the same topic that we present on Monday from 12 to 1 in the Learning Collaboratory, which is UC 115. So if you're interested in building on this a little bit, we will see you there, and we'll see you next week on YouTube. Bye.